All right, hey guys, this is just a little video on mineral powder. Now, it's a little hard to talk about skincare and mineral powder considering what is going on in the world. And when I say what is going on in the world, it's like a million things that are rising to the surface at the same time. And of course, it's no coincidence because all of this is a social manipulation, right? All of it, every single bit of it. So you can't trust anything coming out of the system. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Okay. It's not to say that everything they say is a lie, but what it means is that there's their narrative, there's their agenda. They're trying to capture everybody. Okay. And it's it's so crazy at this point. And knowing what we know that's going on with certain world events, and now all of a sudden all these things are springing up to all somehow align with the tyranny on this planet and the takeover and the manipulation and the rules. And you know, none of this is a coincidence, none of it. So don't believe any of it, none of it. That's all I'll say about that. But I do want to talk a little bit about mineral powder. Now, I hear a lot of people say they don't like mineral powder, and it's fine if you don't like it, but a lot of people will say that they don't like it because it looks cakey, and cakey is a you problem, okay? And I'll say that again, cakey is a you problem. Unless you have the worst formula on the planet, but I can tell you I have used a lot of formulas. I have used probably a minimum of 25 different formulas throughout the 30 years that I've been using mineral powders. I use pressed and loose, and I can tell you there's some that I love more than others, but I've never used one that I can't get look good on my skin. Okay, so if you are using a mineral powder, it doesn't matter whether it's pressed or loose, and if you feel it looks a little cakey, all you need to do is spritz your face very gently. You don't want to do a ton, you just want to do a light little spritz. Go in with a brush and either dab or buff. And really, it's best to kind of do downward motion. And what you'll do is you will take off that cakey part of it and you'll blend the rest of it into your skin a little better, and it will remove that cakey look. Okay. A lot of people don't know how to apply the mineral powder for their skin. A lot of people don't have good skin because they're using a lot of modern products and following a lot of really bad advice. So they actually don't have good skin, and they're not eating appropriate food to nourish their skin from within, because a plant-based diet doesn't do it. Okay. So there's a lot of reasons that our skin can be not quite up to par. And so using a mineral powder is going to leave you kind of like, oh, this isn't working so great. But there's many, many ways that you can actually go around that. Okay. And I hear it all the time. People are out there saying why older people can't use mineral powders, and people are actually going out of their way to creating a skincare line specifically for mature women. And it's like, it's all a lie. Okay. It's all a lie. The difference is your skin full of emollients, or is it full of water-based products? Water-based products aren't really going to do much for your skin, okay? As we get older, we need a lot of emollients, okay? Because emollients is what keeps our skin protected. It's what keeps it lubricated. And no, it doesn't take the place of the hydration. I'm not saying that, okay? But lubrication is really key. And a lot of the commercial products out there, in my humble and professional opinion, do not have enough lubricants for people as they get older, okay? For women as they get older. I guess men too, but personally, I think it's weird when men are big into skincare. I just find it weird. I don't know why. I just do. It just, for men to care about that, like my husband could care less about that kind of stuff. Like, I just find it weird. I'm sorry. It's not like a slight on anybody who does. It's just, I just find it really weird. I think it's good to take care of yourself. And my son likes to take care of himself. My son will do facials with me and stuff like that, but he's not into it like every day. He'll just like, he does it because he likes the way it feels or whatever. But I can't say that my son is like big into it. But you have to remember, when you're born to a mother who does stuff and you've been exposed to it since you were like an infant, because, you know, I've always done stuff with my children. Like, it's just, you know, you just do. And then as they get older, you know, they've experienced what I do when I work on people and things like that. And they love it. You know, they just absolutely love it. And of course, when you give anybody a facial, whether they're into skincare or not, it's amazing. It feels great and it's just wonderful. So I'm just kind of talking about the guys that are so concerned with their looks and are so into, like, you know, all of this stuff that's out there. And I can't relate. Anyway, it's all how you use it. Okay. So you need to have well lubricated skin. You've got to have skin that isn't a dry, patchy mess from using retinols and all sorts of things that dry your skin out. You've got to have a good diet to make sure that your body is producing all the things that it needs to create healthy skin. And just because you are maturing doesn't mean you can't use powder products. I use them exclusively. I don't use creams and liquids, and I'm 57 years old. And if you want to still continue to use them, which I do because they don't contain preservatives, they last forever if you don't contaminate the jar, which I don't put my brush in the jar or the cap. I put it onto a separate plate. These are all inert ingredients. Now, I'm not saying all formulas are inert, but the ones that I use are all inert ingredients, which means they'll basically, you know, last forever. They don't get contaminated. The ones that have oils and other things in them are probably going to start to oxidize at some point, but these are the simple ingredient ones. There's none of that stuff in there. There's no plant extracts. There's nothing in here that is going to go bad. So these will last forever. And if you want to turn it into a liquid or a cream, I would suggest mixing it with a little bit of oil. I'm not a big fan of creams because they have to use preservatives, or you have to use preservatives in order to make a cream. And I don't put preservatives on my skin, hardly ever. I have like a couple of products that contain preservatives, a few, but I don't wear them very often. Okay. And I do have the Glow formula. I have their old loose mineral powder, which I really loved. And I do have their pressed powder. It's a very lovely formula, but it has a lot of stuff in it I don't really want to put on my skin. And it does have preservatives. So I only use that once in a blue moon. I use my products that don't contain those things more often. And I'm not an everyday person. I don't wear something on my skin every day. But now that the weather's getting warmer, we're going to have more UV. I definitely will be wearing them more because it is an added level of protection for my skin. I have a really bad history, so I'm definitely more proactive now. But mineral powders, I can get them to look good on anybody. You just have to know how to use them. And they have a lot of benefits over creams and liquids because creams and liquids need to be preserved. They tend to have a lot more ingredients, and I don't want those on my skin. And a lot of those ingredients are getting into your body. I don't want them into my bloodstream, reaching my organs and my cells. I just don't want that happening. So anyway, I just wanted to give you guys that little tip. All right, signing out.